AD and all, like you are going to cover in one or two additional classes, right?
No, it has dedicated
Dedicated
minimum
sessions, right?
maximum
Okay.
of 3 sessions. Yes.
Right, right. Okay. Are you going to cover something related to this portal as well, apart from this, because when I just read couple of notes and all, so I have few questions like if you are going to cover in further classes, like that's fine. There's something related to like management group, so and how to manage the subscription, what is that? What? Pay as you go, something like from related to assigning a budget in the portal, kind of something I just read up and I didn't understand basically.
Huh. So the concepts which we're going to cover as part of an Active Directory is these are all the things.
No, no, not related to Active Directory. My question is something that I mean, in the last session, you just show the portal and you showed up, talked about subscription and all, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Correct.
apart from that, I just because I didn't go in depth, in the Microsoft documentation, I just read somewhere like in the portal itself, they're talking about management group, what is that? Assigning a budget to a subscription, those things, something like there are big write-ups actually. There are many documentations I just gone through. Are there any other further sessions on those part as well? Are you going to
No,
cover those parts?
no, typically those things is not been covered. So I thought like those are all things kind of self-explanatory. So,
Okay. No, no.
but
I mean, cover
no,
means not with the session actually. Just a heads up. What is that? Why we just a heads up, like a 5 minutes quick talk. That's it.
not a problem. We'll give it, Chiranjeev. That's not at all a problem. You just make a note what are you have been going through, whatever you have been putting on your efforts, right?
Right.
Going through the documentations and other topics which you have been. You just make a note. That's it. You
Right.
just share me the list. I will definitely cover as part of our sessions if it's not been there with us. Not a
That will be
problem.
fine. Because in the portal, like where to go and check. Basic navigation.
Ah,
Not in depth
that's what I
actually.
am
Just
saying. So
okay.
I will definitely help. You just help me with the names. Whatever it can be a wrong also, it can be right also. Nothing to
Right.
worry. You just
Right.
give me a keyword. Surendra management group, cast, where you could see the cast details, pay as you go. So you just
Right.
list down the things. Whenever you feel something, whenever you are reading something, if you found something is not
Correct.
understanding, you just
Okay.
make a note. That's it. You just share it at
That's
the
clear.
end of the day. Surendra, these are
Fine.
all the
Fine.
topics. I need more information. We'll get it covered. That's not been an issue.
Okay, done. That's it. No, no, my question is in the further class, because it's just like one or two classes we are done, right? We had
Mm-hmm.
like many more to come. My only question is if you are covering sometime later, right? So I don't want to again disturb the class now for something else. That's why I just asked up. If you
Huh,
are covering
that
this some time later, so I can wait for it. No problem. I got
whatever
the
you
answer.
yeah, whatever you had just asked, no, Chiranjeevi,
Hmm.
those things are
Right.
not covering.
Okay. Okay. Clear.
My
Clear.
assumption is those things are kind of self-explanatory, but still,
Okay.
as you need, will get covered. That's not a problem. That's why I'm asking if you one-on-one are in a group, you just put
Hmm.
those concepts. Whenever
Fine.
you find something, you put it. But I will
Right.
take those things for next session or in my subsequent sessions. I will get add those concepts.
Okay. Clear. 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 Correct.
That can be done. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
So, any other questions from a previous session to discuss apart from this? Okay. So, let me give a small kind of a recap what we have discussed in the previous session. In a previous session, we have seen navigation to Azure portal, how the things will look like, right? And then we also seen we have discussed more amount of a time into role-based access control. So role-based access control is something like whereas this is as part being an Azure administrator where you will define some roles based on the destined users. Let's say we are all part of an administrators. We should have a owner or a contributor. If you are giving an access to database administrator, storage administrator, backup administrator, right? Based on the technology, we have a roles defined. You name it anything with the cloud as a technology, your RBAC role, respective role will be available. Earlier scenario, I could say a couple of an year before, we don't have this 100 number of built-in roles. We have hardly if I name it, 33 roles are there. Now it is become 300 plus roles. So it means what Azure is doing in the backend, it is trying to provide as a granular level of permissions against each service. Say, for example, you want to manage something called Kubernetes, right? These are all the Kubernetes related roles, right? If you see, all are Kubernetes related roles. Okay, so as part of our previous session, as being an administrator, we have seen how you can grant the permissions by clicking on add role, and then I will select a bonus and then click on next, and I will select the members here. So this is where I could typically select the users, right, to whom you want to provide an access. In your real-time scenario, all the users will be listed down here. You just need to search with their unique name or unique email address so that the particular user will be reflected here, and immediately you could select and then proceed further. This is how the process will be, right? I'm going to grant you the permissions for your accounts as well. So let me get your ID. I requested Siva to do it, but unfortunately he didn't take up. Not a problem. I will do it myself now. Let me get your Gmail account. So in this scenario, you are not part of my company. These are all emails is your personal accounts, right? So m.a. So when you are allowing apart from your organization, you are bringing someone from a different organization. So those accounts will call it as a guest accounts. Why we call it as a guest? Because assume that you are a part of TCS as a company, and you are providing an access to the Infosys engineer, right? So Infosys engineer logging into the TCS platform is as a guest. He cannot come as a TCS employee, right? That's what I mean. That's the reason why you could see them as a guest users. But in a real-time scenario, you won't land into such kind of a scenario, whereas you will be always allowing your own company users. Okay, guys, is it clear?
Yeah, sorry.
So I just added both of your accounts, and we have Saidu as well.
Please add mine.
Yeah. So let's make use of this free trial for now. Once it is expired, we'll let you know so that any one of you can create one free subscription with Azure, so that we'll uh, make use of all of your account for your practice purpose next 4 to 6 months. Yeah. Okay. Now all of you guys, I have provided a permission as owner permission. What you can do with the owner? You can create and manage everything in the Azure subscriptions. And as being a owner, you could also assign permissions to other engineers as well. That's what I have expected, Siva, from you, that
I have one
allowing you as a
question.
owner.
My mail ID is not entry.
Siva, for you, the access is provided on a day one, if you see here. And then with the owner, being a owner, I have asked you to provide access to other people in the class. Seems to be have missed it.
Can you write? Can you override the role assigned to a user? Say for example, you gave a owner now.
Uh-huh.
Can we edit and it will allow you to modify as needed, right?
Modify, you cannot do it. Typically, you can remove and re-add it. That's not a problem. You cannot modify typically.
Edit allow. Okay.
You cannot edit it, but you can modify. You can remove it directly. I can add the permissions once again. Okay.
Yeah.
These are all the built-in roles which are available. If at all you are not happy with provided or inbuilt roles, folks, let's say these are all the inbuilt roles, right? Let me remove the filter here, Kubernetes. If you see, these are all the built-in roles. Let's say I'm having a backup team and backup team wants to manage a backup. These are all the backup related roles I'm holding it. Assume that you are not happy with the built-in roles of which is there by default of 300 plus roles, and you want to create your own role. Right? You want to define the permissions by your own, by your own naming convention. You got the requirement, right? What if you want to customize the permission? I want to work them as a owner, right? But you want to remove some permissions for him in the backend. So such kind of requirements, you can create a custom role. Are you able to see add custom role here? Click on add custom role. You can name it whatever the name you feel like. Let's say it is AZT27 is the role name. So this is, and you can give a justification also why you have been creating this custom role defined for only AZT training 27 team, right? So that I can give my own justification. So to create a custom role, you have three options again. Right? What are the three options? You have clone from your role. It means if we don't know how to write a JSON or you are not clear what has to be done, you can clone whichever is satisfying nearby your requirement and then edit that role. Clear? Start from the scratch in the sense when you are clicking on starting from a scratch, right? So it means it will allow you to add and remove the permissions based on your requirement. Third one is start from a JSON. So this entire role assignments will be on a format of a JSON format. Whereas if you have any predefined JSON, if you are bringing from an internet, you just select this option so that you can browse the JSON file. We have these are three different options to create one custom role. Clear, guys? Now let's say I'm just going with the clone role, for example. So what I'm going to do now, network, right? By default, I'm having a network contributor. What is mean by this role, guys? Contributor, what he will do?
So he can is like a owner, but he can't provide the access to another person.
That's absolutely correct. Now assume that I want to remove one of the this is the network contributor can do. It means normal contributor perform all the operations. When it comes to network contributor, what he will do? He can connect and manage only entire things of a network. Correct? But he cannot grant permissions to other people. That is what network contributor. But you don't want him to allow to raise a support case with Microsoft. Assume this is your requirement. So what I will do, I will go to Microsoft.support. After that, what you could see here, star. Star means all the permission, correct?
Yes.
Similarly, authorization is read permission. Alerting rules you can create. Network slash star option is specifying that you can perform all the operations with respect to network. So I have taken this role from a different role. I'm customizing it. Assume that I don't want him to allow him to create alerts. I will delete that role. I don't want this role to raise a support case with Microsoft. Support permissions I'm removing. And then I will create a role out of it. What is this tab refers to? Assignable scope. In this example, in this training requirement, you are seeing only one subscription, correct? That is our free trial. What if in your real-time scenario, if you are having 100 number of subscriptions, right? So you can add those all your 100 number of subscriptions here in this window by selecting. But in this scenario, we are having only one. That's the reason it is listing only one by default from which subscription you are getting created. For example, this custom role, you want to make it available across your entire number of subscriptions. You just need to add in this scope filter. Clear, guys?
Okay.
Next is JSON. Whatever we performed on a basic permissions tab and assignable scope, combination of these three GUI will be available as a JSON format in this. Okay. If you want to customize in this JSON format, let's say you are pretty much good at JSON templates, you can make use of this also, edit it. And then here, if you want to add one more subscription, comma, come back to the next screen, add similar format of subscriptions, right? And then change the subscription ID. Let's say the subscription 02, you add one more. Like that, you can add and customize in this JSON window as well. That is also quite possible. Clear? And then review, create it. If you see, we have successfully created the custom role called AZT27. Click on OK. Go back to the roles and type AZT27. Are you able to see the role available now?
Yes.
What is the type it is showing? It's a
Custom role.
built-in role or a custom role?
Custom role.
Yeah. So this custom role, how we have created by taking a clone of other role, correct? If at all you want to create from a scratch, let's say this is AZT2702. This time I'm selecting from the scratch, so that what will happen? You don't see any permissions by default. Now everything will be blank. So that you can add a permissions. You want to create a role. Let's say what role you want to create, virtual machine, for example. These are all virtual machine related. Roles are available. Compute. Which one will select? Microsoft Compute. This one. Select it. If you see, for a virtual machine, these many hundreds of permissions are there, individual permissions. Let's say what I will do now. I want to give a permission. This is for available resets, locations, get. I want to allow him to create a virtual machine scale set, delete a virtual machine scale set, start, power off, restart, deallocate, delete. I want to allow him only this set of permissions. You just select and add. That what will happen? Only that particular permissions will be get added when you want to do it from a scratch. Right? Instead of editing an existing role, you can also add a permissions manually, exclude a permissions manually. Nothing matter. From assignable scope, it will be similar and common only. There you won't have any difference. You can add multiple subscription in this area. If not, you can add it in the JSON format as well. Clear?
Okay.
Surendra,
Yeah.
what's in will create
Sorry?
scratch?
No, I didn't get your question.
What's when we'll create the scratch for the particular user? What is the use?
No, from the scratch in the sense like this is a different set of ways for you to create a custom role, right? This is completely based on the requirement. Let's say you are not happy with the existing 300 plus roles and you want to write your own, right? Sometimes people will give you when you are dealing with some kind of vendors require specific permissions, but you don't want all permissions for him to his product to work. For example, he will give it defined permissions manually that I want to have only these permissions. You create one custom role and give a permission to me. In such cases, yes, you could do it this process. Is it clear, Saidu? That's what you are asking?
Yeah, yes. Yes.
So this is how you can add a permissions, which I've just done before starting this. And this is how you can create a custom roles, and the custom roles again can be assigned to other engineers. Till now it's clear, folks. Anything about RBAC, role-based access control?
Surendra, the one which you created now, right? Can you, I mean, we can assign this same role to an existing user, or like we need to, how is it? Can you assign it to one of the user and show?
Yeah,
You
let's see.
created a role now. Assign. Yeah.
So if I type here AZT, I will get all my roles actually. So why it is not coming? AZT. Test roles. What are we just created is yet to come. Let me refresh this page. Entire page once. I could see the custom roles which I created for my previous session of a students. So now I'm just typing. Are you able to see these roles?
Yes.
You just need to select. Similarly, earlier scenario, I selected owner. Instead of owner, what I will do, I will select my own custom role. That is my AZT27. If you see this, type as custom roles here, and then go to next step and add a users. There is no difference in adding a built-in role or a custom role. The process is same when you want to assign permissions to any other engineer as being a owner, assigning RBAC roles to other engineers. The process remains same. No difference.
Okay. How many roles we can assign to a single user? Any restrictions for it? For
The
example, like
number
other
of
than owner, see a person
you
need a
can add
network role, backup role, or like multiple roles will be there.
you
It's
can add
different, right?
as many roles as you need, but the maximum assignments can be done on a subscription is 2000. Until
2000.
like you are
No.
not
My question is
exceeding
to
this.
user. Say for example, say on my name, the role is showing as owner, correct? So apart from owner, I mean the new custom role which you have created, right? If I add it, like it skip it, like adding to under roles, right? Is there any limit, like for assigning a role to user?
That's what I'm saying. There is no limitation until
Limitation.
and unless you are not exceeding this 2000.
2000. Okay. Yeah.
This is the total number of. For me, it is another role.
Okay.
If I'm adding one more role to you, the role will come to 13. Currently,
13.
it is 12.
Okay.
It doesn't matter you are an existing user or a new user. Doesn't matter for you.
Okay. That's a count of. Okay. Role count. Okay.
It's a role count and maximum is 2000.
Okay, and what is that manage identity? When you click like create, I mean assigning a role to a user, there are two options, right?
Yeah.
What is it manage identity?
We'll discuss about it. So manage
Oh, it will
identity
come.
is something. Yeah, we'll discuss about it. Now it will
Okay.
be confusing. We'll
Okay, fine.
discuss about it. Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions, guys, with respect to role-based access control now?
Surinder, you created the custom role that is a contributor, but we are providing the access to another user. Means what am my question? You said you contribute cannot provide the access to another person.
Correct.
But in contribute, you create the custom role.
No, my role is owner. No,
Okay.
myself is a owner. This is what my account which I logged in. I am a owner for this subscription. I can do anything. I can assign a permissions to other users. That role, when I'm assigning to other engineers, that can be a built-in role, that can be a custom role. That's not been a problem. But you should be have owner rights. But if I am assigning to you as a contributor, you cannot assign a permissions to others typically.
Got it. Thank you.
Clear, folks? Now, if someone is asking about role-based access control, would you be able to speak out at least for a 2 minutes, 120 seconds about it, about the topic? Right? If yes, we are good that at least we could able to speak out about the topic and the technology. That's where we have spent most of our time previous session and this session and entirely on role-based access control. Shall we proceed? Okay. So now what we will do, like core components, like the infrastructure, when I'm saying infrastructure, what is your core components? Your virtual machines, that is your servers, your networking, and then your storage, backup, disaster, and monitoring, right? So what we are going to do as part of today's session, we'll start from a virtual machine. And as soon as we get started from a virtual machine, we'll talk about all the technologies which is there and which will come as part of your virtual machine creation. Once if you could able to understand a virtual machine creation process by knowing each and every line item, that could give you storage network information as well. So it means if you are creating one virtual machine by knowing everything means you are covering 50% of the cloud. Okay, let's go ahead. So if I want to create a virtual machine, these are all the technical items I have. There is something called resource group. There is something called availability zones and availability sets, virtual machine sizing and all other stuff. Nothing to worry. We'll get discussed each and every line item. What is the first service we need to know here? Is a resource group. Resource group is something like it's kind of a logical container. Is if I say in a layman terminology, it's nothing but a folder in your laptop. So why you will create a folders in your laptop? In general, guys.
To organize.
So in Azure also, you want to organize your resources, right? Let's say you are creating a resources for a virtual machines, you will create separate folder. If you are creating a storage, separate folder. Development resources, separate folder, right? To categorize, right, to the resources, we will use the resource groups. Having a subscription and then providing a resource group, right? These two are mandatory parameters to create any resource in Azure. Anything if you want to do in Azure as a technology platform, you should have a valid subscription. You should have a resource group should be provided. Without having any kind of a folder entity, you cannot create any resource. Clear, guys?
Meaning is equivalent to role, right? You just
It is
discussed
not
role.
about a role. So that's why I'm saying it is equivalent to your folder in a laptop.
No,
You
I'm
will
not about
create
resource group. I'm talking about resource. When you say resource, resource is a equivalent to role or
resource is equivalent to your services. Let's say
services.
virtual
Oh,
machine is a
service.
service.
Okay, that we call it as a resource. Okay.
That will be named as a resource, correct.
Okay. Okay.
And storage is a service and a resource, we'll
Okay.
call it as. Like that, whatever we see in an initial session, right? By navigating to all the resources, we'll call it in this, if you see create a resource, they are naming, correct? Are you able to see this?
Yes.
They are naming, these are all, whatever you are seeing here, right? These are all resources for me. It can be a VM, it can be a storage, it can be a network, it can be a container, Docker, web application, messaging service, whatever you name it, everything is found a resource for me. Now let's say if you want to create any resource as we discussed, you can click on it anywhere. In this scenario I'm using, which is available here. I want to create a virtual machine. For a virtual machine, I just selected Windows Server 2019. When I select Windows Server 2019, if you see, we are in a basic tab, right? Under basic tab, what is first it is asking here? Subscription to be selected, correct? Right? In a real-time scenario, in this drop down, the subscription list will get vary based on what? Based on roles assigned to your account. Let's say you have owner privilege and 10 subscriptions. What will happen in the subscription list? All your 10 subscription will be listed down here. Okay, you need to pick wherever and which project you want to create. Just select the appropriate subscription. Second thing is resource group. It is asking, correct? Resource group is again a separate service. As I mentioned, it's just a folder. It's not a. It is also a resource, but when it comes to understandable format, I will call it as a folder only. Right? You can create a resource group on the fly as part of your VM creation. If not, you can also create separately as well. So what I will do now, I will go ahead and create a resource group. I'm searching the resource here. I got a search results resource group, right? So whenever you click on any resource in the search window and then selecting it, you name it anything, you will get official documentation here. Right? You have a official documentation here. You could go with the documentation. So when you click on this documentation, instead of searching directly from a Google, you have an official document link here, so that how to create with the screenshot, how to manage, everything will be available in the documentation from Microsoft. So I'm just giving an example for a resource group, but this documentation is available each and every service in Azure. Right? In this scenario also, I'm just selecting a subscription is a mandatory. I'm creating a resource group, my folder name. So I'm just naming my folder name is, let's say, AZT27-RG. Clear, guys? I'm just giving a name. You can give any name here. But when it comes to real time, make sure whatever the name you are giving, it should have some sense of it by seeing the name. So what is mean by some sense of it? Let's say you are creating for uh, a resource group for Air India project, AIR. And this resource group, you want to keep a development resources, dev hyphen resource group. What it is giving a sense, guys, by seeing a name of it? Whoever sees it, they will easily can understand, right? This resource group, this folder is created to maintain resources of my development of Air India. Is it clear?
Okay.
The
Meaning this is a
naming.
custom resource group, right? Whatever you are creating is a custom resource group.
Yeah, it's a resource group. It is not like a custom. We no need to use a keyword here. It is just a resource group. You give a any name, it will take.
No, no. My question is the one which you are creating now. It's a custom, resource group because.
No, when you are using a word called custom, Chiranjeevi, you
Uh-huh.
should have built-in, correct? Then only you will
Right.
say
That's what I'm
custom.
asking. Do we have built-in resource groups?
No,
When we no. Okay, it
no.
will be zero. Whatever we
It
create, it
is
will be okay. Understood.
by default nothing will be there in your. You will get only subscription. How you will use the subscription, that is there with your administration.
That's my question because I thought already by default resource group will be already there, but we are creating something additional. Okay,
No, no.
understood.
It will always be new ones based on the requirement we'll create. You
Okay.
can create one resource group and dump everything, still possible, right?
Oh,
It is you just compared with your laptop only. We have a
understood.
D drive, right? That is one folder. Under D drive, you dump everything it will take. without having a folders. Or you organize the folders with the 10 folders with the 10 different names, documents, movies, MP3, PDFs, study material, learning material. So that makes some categorization. That's it. And nothing else difference.
Okay.
Either ways, your laptop will boot and you can access the files.
Right.
It's a similar thing. You have a subscription. Under the subscription, you can create multiple resource groups based on the environment, based on the services that is ideal to use.
Okay.
If I just remove this and then test type TSST, it will take. It will not question me anything.
Mhm.
So by seeing this name and by seeing this name, which one could be the ideal one to give? It's nothing to do with the technology. It just have to follow some kind of a naming convention as a recommended practice. Clear?
Okay.
And next one is resource region. So this region is nothing but physical data center where you want to create this resource group. So whatever the location you feel like to, you can select it. I'm just selecting, let's say, Central India. So this is my Pune location. I'm just selecting Central India. That's it to create. Creation is pretty much straightforward of a resource group. Just give a name of a resource group, select a region. Okay. And go to next screen. That is tags. Tags window also will be there for each and every resource in Azure creation. But this is not mandatory. This is optional. Why we needed a tags here, guys? We will need a tags to categorize your resources. And then when you want to filter your resources, these tags will be helpful for you. Shall I give some tags so that you will understand how exactly it's going to help? Let's say I am giving a tag name called project. What is my project? It is Air India. And then I'm going to give one more tag called environment tag. What I'm giving the environment tag is development. And then I'm giving one more a tag called created by. It is Surendra. And then assume these three tags for now. You can give n number of tags, no limitation for now. But for now, how many tags I have given, guys? Here, project is Air India, environment is dev, project created by. So here I given created by is Surendra, right? I'm having three tag values. Now, assume that in a subscription, I am having 50,000 resources for my business, right? And your manager came in and asking that in the 50,000 resources, how much, what are all the resources belongs to Air India project? What are all resources belongs to IRCTC, right? So what I will do, I will go to the filter. I will use the project name is equal to Air India. Only those services only you list, I will export and give it. And next question is, so in the entire 50,000 services, how many services I am having for my development? And how much I am paying for my development? So what I will do, I will export only the environment base with the filter is equal to development. And then in the 50,000 resources, there is 20 people team and he want to understand how many resources are provisioned by Surendra alone. So what I will do, I will use a tag value of created by and then filter the values of Surendra. Got some understanding, guys, why we will use the tag values?
Okay.
Still it has been confusing. All of you able to follow? Okay. Click on review and create. So creation of a service, it won't take much time. It will be quick because it's just a folder. How you will create a folder, guys, in your laptop? It will be pretty much quick, right? You just right click, create new folder. It will come the folder. Similarly, if you see, I just created a folder, I got the folder immediately, it got created. Right? Resource group got created. Air India Dev RG. So if you want to see the resource group, you could see that, or you can type resource groups here. Get into that. You could see what is the resource group we created for now. Air India Dev RG. Right? This is how your resource group can be created. Now again, I'm going back to creating a virtual mission screen. And then selection of a subscription, I'm having only one. Real time it will multiple, and resource group will be Air India Development. Virtual mission name, again it is also similar thing on. You can give a test as a name, it will take, nothing to worry on that. But in a real time scenario, you need to understand how the naming convention is being followed in the environment. If it's already running, if it is starting along with you as a new project, you should decide the naming convention. Let's say I will say that Air India Dev Virtual Mission 001. Right? Is this name make sense? Right? Similarly, you can use for production, you can change this dev to PRD, SIT and all the stuff. And we have next thing called a region. As I mentioned, the region can be selected based on your own requirement. So in this case, by default, it got picked up from a resource group location that is Central India. But if at all you want to create a different region under the resource group of Central India, still it is possible. No restrictions in it. Clear, guys? Next thing is
Surendra,
yes.
before creating a VM mission, we have to create a resource group.
You no need to. So as the first time as we are being in a training, so I have taken you to the resource group creation separately. You can create on the fly here also in this screen also. Let's say Air India PRDRG. That's it. You can create as part of your VM creation also. Nothing wrong in it. That we are doing first time, first resource. I thought to give you the more information.
But here we can't provide the tags, correct?
You can provide, no, here also you have a tag value. If you see here, before getting to, are you able to see something called tag here?
Yeah.
So every resource tags will be there.
Okay.
Right? Having a tags will be available, but it's not a mandatory value for you. It is an optional value. Okay.
Yeah, yes, Surendra.
Done. So after the virtual machine name, after the region to be selected, the virtual machine is name nothing but your server name, right? Now, next thing is availability options. What is mean by availability, guys? Now,
Surendra, you said like we can change the, I mean, under instance we have region, right? We can change to different region also. Because the
yes, you can.
resource group you have selected as Central India. So
Correct.
what will happen like if you give two different regions, right? The resource group is in one region and the instance is in another region. Like
It
how will
doesn't
that?
matter. It doesn't matter. It's not going to create any issues. Again, I'm reiterating the same example. Assume that I am creating a folder name with the documents in my laptop, right? And I'm going to copy one movie to the documents as a folder. Is it allow or deny?
In the same laptop it will allow, but here you are asking it to change. I mean, change the region itself, meaning the different data center in your, in the background, right? So
Correct.
yeah, group is in one day. I mean, the same thing, one physical data center, and instance is in pointing to some other data center.
Yeah.
So how
It
it
will maintain that grouping. It will
oh,
maintain that group for you as
uh-huh.
your requirement to use a different region and a
Oh,
technical front, no challenges.
oh, it will work. Okay.
Yeah, so let me select for your understanding as well. So I'm just selecting, let's say Southeast Asia, Singapore. Okay. But what I have selected for my resource group here, I selected
Some-
Central India. I am choosing in this scenario, let's say West Europe, Europe region. Nothing wrong in it.
Okay.
Okay. Next option is we have availability options. Availability options in the sense, so when there is a failures, right? When there is a data center level issues will happen, we cannot afford the downtimes, right? When you are running a critical production applications. So at the end of the day, whoever is the owner, like it can be an Azure, it can be a AWS, GCP, Oracle, whomsoever you refer as a cloud vendors, at the end, at the rest, all these services where it will run, what it requires, where your virtual machine will create.
In data center only.
Yeah, in a data center on top of physical hardware, right? When I'm saying a physical hardware, we don't have any kind of a control when it will create a problems, right? To provide high availability to your workloads, right? Azure also have certain concepts. That is something called availability zones and availability sets. First, we'll talk about availability zones, what is mean by it, and then understand it, and then we'll talk about availability zones concept. All right? Availability zones is something like in a one data center, it will maintain one or more physical data centers. Right? Let's say if I'm mentioning Southeast Asia, it is Singapore. What they typically do, they will maintain minimum set of 3 data centers which will use independent power, cooling and networking systems. It means it will not have dependency with other data center network and power and a cooling system. Each data center will be maintained with their own and a different vendor network, different power source, different cooling system. So why they are maintaining 3 data center in a region from individual power, network and cooling? To avoid any single point of failures. Here guys, let's say if at any point in time, if one of the transformer went down, so what will happen? If you are taking a power from the particular transformer, you will also will get affected, correct? With availability zones concept, what will happen? 3 data centers will use 3 different sources. One source has a problem, but other two will be up and running. Clear? Similarly, these 3 data center taken a broadband networking services. Let's say one is from Jio, other one is from Airtel, third one is from BSNL. Assume that there is a power cable or cables of your broadband services has been taken out or has been with the because of some internal maintenances. Those cables got disconnected somewhere. BSNL got affected. So at least other 2 data center will continue to have the broadband services. That is the main agenda by keeping the availability zones. Okay.
Meaning maintaining separate nodes. You mean like separating instances?
So availability zones in the sense in one region, this is a region you just name it. They will maintain 3 data centers. 3 separate physical space, 3 separate racks, separate power they will take, separate network, separate cooling system they will maintain. All these 3. So how exactly it is going to helpful for you? Let's say in a real-time scenario, you will always be having some kind of a high availability clustering methodology, correct? You never depend your production application to run on a single VM or a single server. You will always be having multiple visions, multiple servers, correct?
Yeah.
So in such scenarios, what you can do, you can keep virtual machine 01 in a zone 1, virtual machine 02 in zone 2. But both the servers will support for one application only. If something went bad with the zone 1, zone 1 data center is crashed, there is a power outage, or there is an entire data center is have a fire accident, what will happen to your VM01? VM01 will go down, correct?
So then it's kind of load balancing, correct?
Yeah. Load balancer is altogether separate concept, but assume that for a load balancer, you will be having two machines to do the balance of your load, correct?
Yeah.
If you are keeping two machines in a two zones, what will happen? If any point in time one zone goes down, at least your other VM will continue to give the service to your business without
Correct.
interrupting.
Correct. Correct.
That is the whole idea of availability zones. Is it concept clear, folks? Any questions?
So that means the data will save. So if one zone is crashed, so data will not lose any data.
Correct.
No, see, my question is like, is the instance or like data will be stored in all the three data centers? I'm talking about like physical data.
So when it comes to virtual machines, it's individual data. When it comes to storage, see, virtual machine instances, you need to pick up the zones. It means you need to physically place your virtual machines in zone 1. It means server 1, I am saying to zone 1, server 2, VM2 in a zone 2, server 3, VM3 in a zone 3. That is the functionality of a virtual machines or a server operating systems. Okay. If you take the same availability zone feature for a storage, right? In that scenarios, your storage copy will be one that can be replicated across the zones.
Okay.
You understand the concept, right? So don't get much confused for now. Just understand only the virtual machine for now. We have a separate topic on a storage. By the time I will have much more in deeper of explanation.
Okay.
But as you guys rightly been understanding, you can keep the instances in separate zones. You can replicate the data of your storage, one copy into multiple zones, still be possible. That is the design actually.
Okay.
Yeah, clear? That is what it refers to in this screenshot, guys. Wherever you could see a rhombus symbols in this right diagram, in that locations we have a availability zone feature enabled. It means in that region, if you select, we have a 3 data centers, that is 3 zones will be available. If you are selecting a region where this rhombus symbol or white color dot, whichever you are seeing, right, which is not there, where you cannot select the zones itself. You don't have an option. Okay. It means availability zones by default is not available across all the regions. It is available only specific regions, and all other regions are they're slowly working on to bringing up every region into availability zones. But what they do typically, nearby regions, they will make sure to have availability zones to satisfy the customer's requirement or customer need. Okay. Any questions, guys, with this availability zones? Is it confusing? Again, let me explain once again. Availability zones is something like where Microsoft has built in one or more data center in a one physical region by using independent power, independent cooling, and a networking system. Right? This will helpful for us when there is a data center level failures. It will provide high availability for our workloads. Right? This is how it looks like. If you're having 3 virtual machines serving for one application, it's better to keep 3 virtual machines into 3 zones instead of keeping them into one data center, so that any single point of failures will not affect your business. Other 2 machines will continue to give the service. So for that, what I will do as part of my virtual machine creation, I am creating VM01, so that what I will do in the drop down, I will select zone 1 to select, so that this VM will be get created in data center 1 in this, or zone 1 of this West Europe. When I'm creating 002, for example, virtual machine 2 I'm creating, I will select zone 2. So what will happen now? My VM02 will run on created under zone 2. Similarly, I'm creating zone VM3. So I will enable the zone 3. Right, so that I will select the region where my virtual machine can be created. This is how your availability zone feature will work to provide high availability to your virtual machines. Any questions?
Yes, Surendra, you created three VMs now. So you selected 3 different region.
Correct.
So in 3 VM we don't we will not it will not contain same data, correct? It
It
will
is
have
3 different
different
servers.
data.
No, it is 3 different servers.
Ah.
So obviously 3 different operating systems, 3 different set of applications, same applications you configured in a 3 servers. That is our thing to do.
Okay, if you suppose one VM got something was happened, means something will happen. It got down. How will we can recover the data?
So recovery, you can do it from a backup in general. We have separate concepts. We have that concepts to be discussed as part of our sessions, where we will enable the backup to our workloads. Assume that your virtual machine, your server got crashed, or you have wrongly been done the installation or configuration, data is lost, right? Your requirement is recovering the data.
Okay.
Such cases will use the backup solution, Saidu. With that, we could recover.
How this zone will help? We selected zone 1. How is this
zone?
Yeah.
Zone will not helpful for you on a recovering a data. Zones will helpful for you to segregating your workloads, your servers. In the same example, if the zone 1 got failed, assume that you kept your 3 VMs in a zone 1 only.
Yeah.
Entire zone 1 got a fire accident. What will happen? Your 3 VMs will go down. What it will be resulted? Your application will go down.
Correct.
At least by segregating your VMs into 3 zones, what will happen? Instead of keeping it 1, let it go zone 1 fire accident. You have 2 more VMs to continue to run the show.
Okay.
That is the main advantage.
Okay. Whatever we will if the one gen anyway VM got down, we can recover data using the backup. So but
that part, see, backup, recovering a data, disaster recovery is something different concept.
Okay.
So don't get confused with this. Zones is allowing you to segregate your workload so that your business immediately will not get affected. As an end user, I am an end user today. I'm accessing Google as an application. Have you ever feel that Google application is down? Have you ever experienced it?
No.
Do you think that where the Google application is running, the server in the behind the scenes, do you think that that will never rebooted or never go down of a physical hardware?
It will.
It will. So how the application is running? Because they will not depend on one single server.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
One more question. Okay, John is correct, but one EM I have another. It's not same. I have some particular data. Means for example, Amazon is so some of the images are stored in VM1. So if the zone 1 got down, for example, I clicked on cycle. in Amazon. So that VM got whatever data center zone got down. So I can't, if I click it, uh, the data was not there. It remain to VMs. If I click the cycle, if you I want to buy in the cycle in Amazon, but it will not show anything. It will show in uh, that product details and all.
No, that see, when you are precisely want to know about how the things will be, that is the design how we need to make. Saidu. So there is three layer of a technology, right? So one is front end, other one is back end, other one is web tier, database tier, correct? So each layer again, you should have a high availability data. It is not like your database. So your whatever you are referring as an images of your cycle, whatever you are looking at on Amazon, all right? That data somewhere, the table format, it might have saved in somewhere, correct?
Yeah.
Typically, they will use a database. So as being a database administrator, you need to maintain the high availability configuration cluster mechanism. If you say that I will keep it in zone one only, my data, in the sense when the zone one is down, your data itself is down only, you cannot access.
Okay.
It is more in terms of how we design our application effectively. That is where the solution architects will will design in a manner that where at any point in time your data should not be get affected and you continue to run the show without impacting the business on a cost optimized manner.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank
These
you.
are not mandatory, guys. Again, I'm saying so available selecting an availability is a optional features. If you see high availability option, are you seeing the red star here as a mandatory?
No, no.
It's an optional. If you feel your virtual machine is critical, then only you do that. Otherwise, you select I don't want any infrastructure redundancy. No infrastructure redundancy is required. So there is no concept called zone itself.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? Okay. So we discussed about availability zones. As I mentioned, availability zone feature is not available in all the locations, right? As we seen in the region screenshot. In tomorrow's session, we'll see how you can provide a high availability within a single data center, right? What we discussed now is that you have multiple data centers in a region that is called zones. So I'm placing different data centers. So how I can achieve the maximum high availability to my workloads where I don't have an availability zone. That concept we'll call it as a availability set. That concept we'll discuss it in tomorrow's session. Okay. Any other questions before winding up today's session?
No, we didn't create any VM. You didn't save.
No, I didn't create. So my intention is to show and explain each and every bit of an parameter as part of VM creation. At the end only we'll create a VM, not now.
Okay.
So each and every drop down I will explain in detail for you so that you know what you are giving. And if I not explain directly, if I go and create also your VM will come up immediately. No issues on that. Right. But what my uh, thinking is that make you feel comfortable with all the available options.
The availability zone, like the feature is free for us to, because when we are going for free subscription, can we
Yeah.
use that availability zone option also?
Yes,
Can
yes, you
we?
can.
It's not a paid, okay.
It's not a paid one. Okay. If there is no further questions, we'll wind up the session for today and we'll come back by tomorrow, same time. Thank you guys. Thanks for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you.